From the time Anita and I finished recording and mastering The Sea last winter, a follow-up album has been on our minds. Just what it would be, we weren't sure. Finally, in late March, we hit upon the idea of the Earth. I then set about writing a storyline and a series of 14-word descriptions of what I thought the selection should be. Some were finished poems, some were merely thoughts. Just as in The Sea, I included a few suggestions as to the music and the length of each band. But in all cases, naturally, the final decision concerning the music would be left to Anita. She would write the music and the arrangements, choose the orchestra, and conduct as well. Afterward, with a rough tape of the sessions, I'd put in the words. This time, it was to be especially exciting for me because I'd be reading the words over Anita's music as well as writing them, something I've been unable to do before because of contractual commitments with another record company.
Our biggest problem was time. Rod had a lot of commitments for the rest of the year, and so did I. For one thing, I was going to Europe to record an Anita Kerr Singers album. Warner Brothers wanted that album, as well as The Earth, for a late summer release. Fortunately, it turned out that Rod was going to Europe, too. So we decided to record The Earth, and yet another San Sebastian Strings album in England. This meant, however, that I had to write and arrange 28 pieces of music, plus the Anita Kerr Singers album, and a singles date, all before we left for Europe in May. It was to mean that in England I would be recording all day long for 10 days straight.
She did it, but I don't know how. The results were for me very exciting, and once I had a copy of the tapes in my hand, I stayed up all one night writing and rewriting the words that I was to put over the music the next day. There was a good deal of rewriting because her music suggested a lot of brand new things to me. For instance, a piano piece we had called A Cat Named Sloopy now became My Mother Wanted Me to Play Mozart, and an arrangement featuring 20 singers and an orchestra of 55, once called In the Beginning Dust, is now simply Sunday. I wanted, too, a different kind of story than we had on The Sea, yet each band had to be able to stand on its own.
By the way, Rod, did you know that the concert master on the big sessions was David McCallum's father?
I know. He signed almost as many autographs as you did. I'd be lying if I said we weren't proud of The Earth. We put a lot of hard work into it. We both wanted it to be a good album. I hope it is. I feel it has something to say, both musically and lyrically, about what's going on with the generation of today.
You know, Rod, it seems like our whole time in England was spent in the recording studio. One of these days we'll have to go back and find out what swinging London is all about.
I hope it doesn't rain as much.
Me too.